Hello and welcome to another episode of RADUC, a weekly show dissecting news highlights in and around the American University in Cairo, brought to you by the Caravan. I'm your host, Abdelwahab.
And I'm your co-host, Bassel, Hanna.
And this week, we're taking a look at a rather absurd world, or should I say, an imaginary invalid world. So, it's no secret that the coronavirus has basically shut down every single industry in the world, right, Bassel?
No, it's understandable. We have to limit social gatherings and help flatten the curve. So it's understandable, but it's been a while now since we've been to a play or the cinema or anything.
The entertainment industry is basically shut down. It has been the industry most affected by the coronavirus, and the AUC theater is no exception.
But I hear about a new play being held over Zoom called the Imaginary Invalid.
It was actually adapted for Zoom by a theater professor at AUC and a couple of AUC alumni, including the director Hisham Abdel Razek.
Dr. John Huey, who is the head of technical theater at AUC, had an idea back in April to take one of Moliere's old scripts and adapt it for the modern day and for Zoom. And based on that idea, he brought a team together. I was part of the team. We then, after some discussions, we decided to take it to AUC, to propose it, to do it as part of the AUC season. And the theatre department accepted.
Hisham Abdel Razek, who is the director of the play, says that he's bringing the theatre to you through this.
The way we're trying to do it in this play is through filming from 9 different locations, 1 location for each actor.
He says that it's pretty difficult to manage the logistics of such a play, since there are a lot of things to take into account, like, say, for example, stable internet connection.
There are lots of logistics that you never had when going into a regular theatre production that you've got on this one. Prime example is how to secure internet connection, how to secure voice projection in terms of microphones attached to computers. How can we broadcast this to as many people as possible? And these are all questions we're somewhat still answering, but we are very close to having the answers to, which is why I'm very confident that this is an experiment which is going to work and it's going to pass with flying colors.
Also, they have replaced 3 of the roles with puppets.
Our version is different from the original playwright's version in that, as I said, we've adapted the script. In fact, the script has 12 characters, and we have turned 3 of them into puppets that will be controlled by other actors. So there will be an actor who has a human role and a puppet role. So some people will be doing 2 roles at the same time. 1 human as themselves and 1 puppet as the puppet on their hand. So that's another difference that we've gone for. We've adapted the script, as I said, and we are basing it in an imaginary version of Cairo. It's not Cairo, nor is it France. It's this version of a world that doesn't make any sense at all. As I say, what we're trying to do is so experimental that we thought we'd match that with the style of play.
This actually isn't the first time for them to use puppets in a play. Do you remember Funny Mirrors?
Actually, I do not. What was that about? Mm-hmm.
It's an AUC play that utilized puppets. So, do you know who originally wrote The Imaginary Invalid?
The Imaginary Invalid is a play written by the French playwright Molière in the 1600s. It was actually the last play he wrote before he died.
And when is this play, the Zoom play, when is it gonna be?
So this semester AUC has 2 theatre productions. We are the first one. Both of them are being directed by AUC alumni. Our play is in October and the other play is going to be in November. Both, as I said, are directed by AUC alumni. We are going first. And our showing dates are on October 22nd, 24th and 26th.
In October? So almost a month, less than a month from now. What's the plot of the play?
The play focuses on a hypochondriac, which is someone who believes they have a ton of different diseases and illnesses when in truth they have nothing. It focuses on a male old hypochondriac who wants to get free medical treatment through marrying his daughter to a doctor so he can be cured for free by this doctor, and his father who is a doctor and his brother who is a doctor as well. So in his mind he's signing off his daughter for the price of 3 free doctors. And it's essentially a play where there's this struggle for forbidden love because the daughter loves someone else, and obviously she can't marry him because her father wants otherwise. It's a story that's been told time and time again, but the way that they go about resolving it and trying to put things right and trying to make sure that love wins at the end is ridiculous, it is wacky, and it is completely absurd.
That's yeah, I heard about that scenario a few times before. Do you think this will happen again, or are we gonna be on campus next semester? What do you think is gonna happen? Is this gonna be a normal thing now, or is it just a one-time thing given our circumstances?
Well, there are 2 plays taking place this feature season. The Imaginary Invalid is one of them, and while it is not confirmed whether the other will take place on Zoom, it will for sure take place online. And that brings our episode to an end. I'd like to thank my co-host Bassel Hanna and our lovely producer and founder Basant Samhout, as well as Hisham Abdel Razek for his insightful interview. RADUC is brought to you by The Caravan. Visit us at auccaravan.com for more news stories. Tell us what you think in the comments, and don't forget to tune in next week for the latest news. Thanks for listening!
Radio C.